Hi, Darryl from Darbeth here again, and this time we want to talk about getting some tips for shooting good videos while you're in lockdown. Now, we're not talking about something which is super fancy, but just the simple things that anybody in business can do to just make your videos connect with those people. Now, some things are common across all the sorts of videos that you use, but there are really two types of videos that businesses use when we're in lockdown. One is an internal video, and they are generally one you use on live stream so that staff can communicate with each other, and the other one is ones you use to communicate with your customers and your clients, and these are usually recorded videos. Now, common to all of those is you need to get your lighting right. We've spoken about this in some other videos, but in general, have the lighting in front and on an angle. What is really common is people to set up at their desk and the window is behind them, and that window becomes glary and hard to see them. So that's one thing to think about. Getting your sound right is also important, but that is quite difficult to get correct, and we'll talk about that in a little bit of detail. The third thing, which is common to all videos, is actually getting the framing right. Now, if you look at where we have the framing at the moment, if you draw two lines about a third apart on the screen, so 1/3, middle third, bottom third, if you put your eyes roughly where that top third line is, you get a good framing. There are so many people that you see with videos, they disappear down at the bottom of the screen and all the rest around that is dead space. When you are shooting video, what people want to see is your face, your eyes, your expression, because that is where the value is in video. So we do not want a whole lot of background coming around and taking away from that, and in many cases it actually creates a distraction. Now, we're going to split this over two videos. So today on this one we're going to cover the internal use live stream videos, and we'll have a separate video talking about the ones you shoot for customers. But just bear in mind, remember to get your framing right, to get the lighting in front and on an angle, and to put a bit of attention into the sound, because that is the most difficult part of a video, believe it or not. Now, when you're setting up for internal video on a live stream, it's a little bit more relaxed because everybody knows who you are. You don't have to worry about getting your hair sorted out or all of those sorts of things, as long as it's the normal things that you would be doing if you were in the office, or even you're in the office and just sharing with somebody else outside. So there is a little bit more of a relaxed environment on there. However, I would still suggest you have a look at the background behind you. Now, we're shooting on a plain background here for that sort of reason. It just declutters everything else around you. But a good tip for that is to just step out of the camera and then have a look from the back of the camera and to see what is there behind you. And you might find it better to take a few things out or just change the angle of focus or something like that, just to declutter it. Another tip, if you're talking internal, you will most likely need to do screen sharing at some time. You have to share a document or a spreadsheet or some pictures or something like that, because that's part of your business. I suggest that you have some practice at that, and that's not as easy as it sounds, is because you can't run practice without running it on a live stream. So you probably need to set up a dummy live stream and just go through those sharing facilities and make sure you know where those buttons are. Nearly all of the live streaming systems have them, but where you find them and what they do, they are all different. There are two main types of screen sharing. One is shares the whole of the screen. That means that everything which is on there, including your personal emails or whatever, can be seen. Another one is sharing a specific window for an app. Get in with your system and find out how to do both of them, and then when it's appropriate, you know which ones to do for the appropriate time. Sometimes it is actually better to share your whole screen and bring things up like that because you're flipping around between a few of them. Sometimes it's better if you focus on a particular app and share that app and only that app to cut out all of the other distractions that may happen on there. Now, I said earlier that audio is the hardest part to get right in a video, which probably sounds a little bit counterintuitive because everybody thinks the visuals are the most important part of a video. They certainly have the biggest impact, but audio is where things will go wrong the quickest and the fastest. So for internal work, I really suggest that you get a headset with the earpiece and a microphone that comes in front of you, and the thinner the better, the more lightweight it is, so it doesn't become too difficult to handle for all of that time that you're in the meeting. But they make it so much easier to get the sound right. If you do not use a headset, you've got internal microphones somewhere, usually in this context to be on your laptop. Your speaker is also on your laptop, and one, you get echo because your microphone is so far away from you, but worse, it's very, very prone to getting feedback because as somebody speaks, the microphone picks up what the speakers are going through, and it just goes through that loop and builds up and up and up till you get that horrible squeal that nobody likes. And that is very difficult to get rid of unless you've had a lot of practice at setting those things up. The third reason for using a headset is that it's much better at cutting out extraneous noises. So if you have other activity happening around you but off camera, it's very easy for external microphones to pick those up. There was one time a few weeks ago, I was talking to somebody. We're in the same building, fortunately, but the other people in the office were speaking, and it was just so loud that we couldn't hear what she was saying, and I couldn't hear what I was saying because of the noise coming through from the others. So that also helps to get rid of those sorts of extraneous sounds if you go through and you get yourself a headset. Speaking of talking, it is very easy for people to talk over the top of each other, or the exact reverse, to sit back and everybody say nothing. The reason for that is when we're dealing with live stream, there is always that gap. It's called latency. But between the time and when you say something and the time that the other people in the live stream hear it, it could be half a second to a few seconds, depending on a whole heap of things, particularly the network that you're using. And that makes it very difficult to coordinate people speaking at times. How you get around that actually varies from group to group because there is no one system which works. Suggestion is that initially everybody is muted until whoever is the coordinator gets going and organises things. But when you have a discussion, you will need to have different people talking at different times. So you'll need to work out between you how to get over those awkward moments when people are waiting for other people to speak. And the other is when you've got people with good ideas that are both trying to talk at the same time. So you have that tag type situation where people are trying to figure out who's going to talk and who's not going to talk. So just work out a way to do that. That's probably something which needs to be controlled by the person who is coordinating that meeting. In particular, that's one of their roles. Anyway, there are some quick tips. They're easy ones that anybody can get involved with. So think about them, and we'll catch you for the next one to do with video for your customers.